What this points to me is that Israel, through Angleton, because Angleton also helped Israel to get the bomb, get the nuclear bomb, probably against the, well, certainly against the wishes of Kennedy.
Do you know that John Kennedy was very much opposed to Israel getting the bomb? He nixed it. He absolutely nixed it. He did not, and he was coming over to make the inspections very rigid. And he said, "We don't give them the bomb. The bomb was sacred. The first five countries that got it, that was done. It was a fait accompli. But all of a sudden, to allow Israel to have a bomb, no, no way in hell." Kennedy was killed. Lyndon Johnson signed off and let the Israelis do what they want. They opened the Dimona facility in 1968. Americans didn't even know because Johnson put out a directive. He said, "Don't talk about it." But definitely there was malice, a forethought in getting rid of Kennedy, and because they saw the danger that he represented.
Also, we don't even really know what the Eisenhower policy was. The testimony has a passage which suggests that the Eisenhower administration had somehow agreed, perhaps to compensate for the Suez crisis and the way that the US intervened on the side of the Arabs instead of on the side of Israel and the British and French. Perhaps because of that, somebody in the Eisenhower administration, whether Eisenhower himself or maybe Dulles and then Angleton, following what Dulles says, they essentially help the Israelis to get a nuclear bomb. And so Angleton has two monuments to him in Israel. He seems to have been functionally an Israeli agent. And it may well be that because he believed that the Israelis believed in a unipolar, super dominant USA as well. And so I think he thought that ideologically there should be no daylight between the US and Israel, and that Israel and the Zionists, because they actually understand that it's an existential crisis, right? Because that's the way that they sort of frame the reality that this state must succeed and it must be secure and unassailable. Well, that's Angleton's philosophy for the US and for capitalism. And he is alarmed that these other people don't see it. They don't see how important this is, and that this is non-negotiable, and it's a eschatological thing for Angleton almost, but like if anti-communism is his religion, okay, and I think that may help us to understand the American side of this, because I think what eventually becomes neoconservatism is not simply Israel pulling the strings in the US, but it is a Zionist contingency that's very pro-Israel that also probably has enormous blackmail on the US. Um, it's quite possible that Angleton gave them, I mean, probably the JFK assassination, secrets about the JFK assassination. I mean, there's reason to suspect that. For, among other things, the executive producer of Oliver Stone's JFK was an Israeli intelligence agent, which is the strange thing, right? Angleton was the person of all the people that could have been compromised by a foreign power. Angleton would be the worst and most disastrous one for the U.S. And I believe that is what happened in an unusual way. I think because he had a affinity for this uh, what we would come to see as neoconservatism, which is extreme, like pro-Israel. Israel should be able to destroy everyone else in the region to secure U.S. control over the energy heartlands of the world.